Hello everyone. So before diving deep into the GATE DBMS subject, let us first have a brief introduction towards the subject. So database management system. Let us understand why the subject was first of all introduced. Okay. So the first part of database management system, that is data. What is data? Anything that can be stored, any information that can be stored is called as data. Now, you tell me what are the information that you store regularly in your laptop? Maybe songs, videos, or your project work, right? Or anything else. Okay, so that is termed as data. So, any information that can be stored is called as data. Now, the very next question that comes to our mind is why should the information be stored? Why should we store any of the information? Because the data that we come across every day is huge, is enormous. We cannot remember every instance of data. And any time in future we want to retrieve it, then it has to be stored at some place. Now, the key thing here you have to notice is how do you store the data? In the layman's word, again, let's go step by step. Okay, let's not just directly jump to the technicality. First, let us understand in layman's words, and then let's go to the technicality. Okay, so in layman's words, if I say that if I want to store songs and videos in my laptop, how do I do? I'll create two separate folders, audio and video. I'll store songs in one folder and I'll store videos in one folder. Correct? Now, I would not mix up them. Why? Basic common sense. Next time when I revisit, I want it in an organized way. I want to retrieve my information in the easiest way. So if I want one song, I'll go to the audio folder, I'll get that. If I want a video song, I'll go to the video folder and get it from there. So that is the reason that I systematically store it. So the same applies to the huge enormous amount of data that today we are dealing with. Okay, so information that is related. So this word is very important. Okay, information that is related is stored. Now, this thing where you store the information, where you store the related information at a place, is nothing but your database. So, what is database? The information, the related information which is stored at one particular place. Now, you have GBs of data, okay, and you store that GBs of related data at a place. So, that is nothing but a database. Next question is, now again let us consider example of the audio folder, and now I have 10 songs in. So it is very easy for me to search the song that I want and to play it. Now consider I have audio songs and I have 10 million songs. And hypothetically, let us assume that I cannot alphabetically sort it for some reason in my laptop. How will I search my song in this list of 10 million songs? It is difficult. So, in today's world, what do? We create a software. Okay. So, what does this software do? It helps me to retrieve the data that I want. Retrieve is nothing but access the data that I want. It also helps me to store the data, and it helps me to run any other queries on the data. Queries is nothing but command. Now, if I say, for example, if my software is very well versed and I say that, hey, give me the list of all the songs that I have stored in which Amitabh Bachchan has acted. Okay, so it would return me the result which has the list of all the songs where he has acted. So that is a command that I am running on the data that I have stored. So that command in the database language is nothing but query. Okay, that command is, the technical term is query. So if I would design a software where I can retrieve any song, where I can store any song, or I can run any other query on that song. So that software which helps me to manage the database is called as database management system. So the name itself suggests, right? The software which helps me to manage the database is nothing but database management system. Okay, so in the next session we will start with the first great topic, that is ER models. So before we go to that, we need to understand the three basic definitions, why the subject was introduced, because we have to understand that how well the data can be stored, because if it is just about 10 or 20 songs, then nobody would have created a subject for it, right? There are GBs of data that is stored, and it has to be stored in a very efficient way where I can access it. So there are memory constraints, there are time constraints when I'm going to access it, the speed, everything matters. So how well can we store a data, right? And what are the different operations we can perform on the data, and how can I represent the data that I have stored in my database? How can I show that what type of data is stored, what is the data stored? Everything we are going to study in this. Okay, so the next topic is PR model.